It was either 1974 or 1975. It was a warm Michigan summer evening. The windows in my pickup were down because in Michigan there is little need for air conditioning in vehicles. I was driving on Highway US 127 coming from Mid-Michigan Community College where I had finished teaching a painting and drawing class. It was close to sunset. There is a fairly long hill by Michigan standards coming south from the campus. It begins in a pine forest and ends at fields of new mown hay. As I got close to the bottom of the grade, the trees gave way to two fairly large fields on either side, both left and right. There it was. The moon was rising about 15 degrees above the horizon to my left, and the sun was setting about 15 degrees above the horizon to my right. Instantaneously, I could feel a tremendous amount of energy passing through my head, and I began to chant. It was as if I had the awareness of everything all at once as I chanted on. I was truly one with universal consciousness. It was as though I knew everything known, and it was there all at once. This went on for about 20 minutes of a 30-minute drive to my home in Rosebush, Michigan. During the 20 minutes I did not recall driving and my avatar was on automatic pilot. My I am was engaged in a knowledge download. The chant was melodious. I was singing rather than simply speaking. I know that I was fully engulfed in an amazing peace that really defies explanation. The only thing I remember from the experience was the last line of the chant, and I said, "And to the lion, killing isn't wrong." That's where it ended. The thing that I remember most during this experience, I was filled with an amazing peace, but I can absolutely not remember any of the chant except the last line. I do believe, however, that in that dump of spiritual info, I received all of the words of knowledge and all of the spiritual insight that I have given over the years. I have a strong intuition, and there are times when I know things about people that I really have no way of knowing, and when I have the courage to share it, it always proves to be right on and just what the individual needed to hear at the time. Since that time, I have been driven to understand the nature of reality and the purpose to which this material world exists. I believe, as Nikola Tesla did, that we are receivers from the mind at large. I think I prefer that term, mind at large, though little known and only by those who have read Aldous Huxley's The Doors of Perception. It is interesting to me how synchronicity works, because a couple of years before that experience, while taking a graduate painting course at Central Michigan University, my instructor assigned us to read that book as part of painting class. At roughly the same time, I was introduced to Fritjof Capra's The Tao of Physics, and another friend suggested I read Carlos Castaneda's novels. I began with A Separate Reality, moved on with Journey to Ictlan, and kept on from there. I also began to have people with clairvoyant abilities come into my life. I understood that the world that I was in was definitely shaped by consciousness, or what one could call spirit. It was easy for me to accept the reality that somehow spirit or consciousness was underlying reality. While I had never heard the word panpsychism nor was familiar with any of the philosophers that held that view of reality, it was definitely my view, even if I did not know the term. It would be many years before I would come to study Hermetics or read the Tao, but the foundation was laid in this experience. It was also in this time period, later that winter, that I would experience other phenomena on that drive. I began to see bright lights in the sky above my home as I was driving. This would be during this 30-minute drive. It was like they were parked right over my house. I would see them in the direction of where I lived, and as I got closer and closer to home, it was obvious that they were there, in the sky. I remember one evening in particular. I saw the light there, and when I got home, my wife's aunt was babysitting our children. I ran in the house to have her come out and look at it. When she came out, I swear it turned into a plane with a blinking light and moved on. She must have thought I was crazy. I swear, before I went in the house, it was just a bright light, white in color and hovering up in the sky, and it actually blew my mind that it turned into an ordinary plane. I remember another evening in the cold Michigan winter. It was a crisp evening with a full moon shining down on the shivering cold. I looked up at it and I had a sense come over me that I was not from here. I was in reality from somewhere out there. It was an overpowering awareness, and then it passed. So yes, most definitely I am a believer in paranormal anomalies. For good reason. I am an experiencer of many paranormal circumstances over the years. So numerous that it would take a book to retell them all. Do I realize that we need to stay grounded and accomplish things in the material world for our benefit? Yes, of course. But I likewise realize that there is much more to reality than simply meets the eye, and I believe that consciousness is on an upward spiral trajectory with a purpose of enlightenment as one goal. If you enjoyed this and it resonates with you, please like, subscribe, comment and share. Thanks for watching.